is there going to be a big emotional letdown from the 49ers' second Super Bowl defeat in 5 years? 56 times a team has lost the Super Bowl. 3 times a team has come back the next year and made it to the Super Bowl and won it. That's what the Niners are trying to do this year. It hasn't happened it's happened 3 times ever, and 2 of the 3 times were way, way back 40 plus years ago. It's really barely ever happened in recent vintage. Do the Niners suffer an emotional letdown from losing that Super Bowl, and we see it in some form or fashion this year on the field?
Is it an emotional letdown? Is it a rash of injuries because they're older and they played a bunch of games? I mean, that's what happened 4 years ago. Did they have an emotional letdown after losing to the Chiefs the first time? Maybe, but Bosa went down, Garoppolo went down, Debo went down, Mostert went down. There were a lot of problems. Maybe that's what's in store for them, considering they had so much good luck with injuries the last year. I don't know. It just feels like last year, everything went their way in a lot of ways. They were healthy. The conference sucked. The division sucked. They were the number 1 seed. The Chiefs were like a degraded version of themselves. It was all set up for them to win. Now conference is better. Division is better. Chiefs are better. It seems like are they a better team? Probably not. Everything else around them is tougher. I don't know. It seems daunting. And I think they know it. I think they know they missed their best chance. They still have a chance, but they missed their best chance. And that's, to your point, emotionally tough to get over. You can't stop thinking about it.
I'm going to say that they're a little bit more resilient, let's just say. I'll throw that word out because of all of the ups and downs, the pandemic, the Super Bowl window, falling short to the Chiefs a couple times, falling short in the NFC title game a couple times, losing your quarterback in the NFC championship game. They've had a lot of bad things happen. Massive injuries one year that totally derailed them. I think this team emotionally is actually rock solid. I don't think this is a up and down emotional outfit. I think Lynch is a solidifying force. I think Shanahan is relatively unemotional. I think they're going to dodge this one, where there's lots of teams that are like, oh, no, like Philly. Philly, after they won the Super Bowl, man, they had or after they lost the Super Bowl, had a terrible hangover the next year.
Can we talk about that for a second? Let's linger with Philly. What was one of the big things that fell apart with Philly last year? I think it was their belief in their head coach.
I think it was the quality of the coordinators, to be honest. I mean, they went with Desai and then Patricia. They have Fangio now. And
that all goes back to the head coach, right? Like, you hired these guys. Yeah. Like, we trusted you. I mean, for a while, Sirianni was looking like that guy. They trusted him. Whatever they were doing in Philly was working. They weren't losing at all when Jalen Hurts was on the field. And then it all fell apart, and he started looking like a clown. And I wonder, I'm not saying Kyle's going to look like a clown ever, but how do the players look at him now? Do they look at him like it's his fault that they lost the Super Bowl if they have a slow start this year? Do they still have that unwavering belief that they've had in him for about 8 years? I wonder.
I think there's a little doubt that could be creeping in, but I think emotionally they're an even keel type team. This market, the media is not very big as far as New York, Philly, Boston, Chicago, some of these places where the media drives this kind of like bipolar type, existence. That's not the media here. It's much more relaxed here. Everybody can just kind of settle into whatever makes them comfortable. There's not a lot of external pressure. So I would say that there might be a physical letdown because they played too many games. They might, run out of gas. But as far as emotional letdown from like a lot of teams deal with after going to the Super Bowl and losing it, I'm going to say they're going to dodge that one. I think they'll dodge that one.
Okay, I got something I want to say. Let me come back. Let's go back to the other one. And this ties into the emotional letdown. I think so much this year, and we don't talk about this person explicitly. I don't know why. There's a lot of people we focus on, Ayuk, Purdy, Kyle, Sorensen. What about Nick Bosa? Nick Bosa is supposed to be the best player in the league. That's what they paid him to be. He wasn't that last year. And there were all kind of reasons why. Well, it was a defensive coordinator, or basically people blame Steve Wilks. So Steve Wilks is gone, and now you bring in a guy that Nick likes, and the idea is that he's going to turn it back on. But then you look at his brother Joey, and ever since Joey got paid, he hasn't been the same player at all. And my question to Nick is like, are you Joey Bosa or are you Max Crosby? Are you the guy who plays with his hair on fire all the time just because you love football? Or are you the guy who's going to kind of slide into like not mediocrity, but like
I think
not what you were paid to be?
Yeah.
Now,
I think you make a good
point. It all
point.
comes down to Bosa.
He was 18 and a half sacks before he got paid. He was 10 and a half sacks after he got paid. I think with the addition of Floyd, that he'll run into a few more just because Floyd is a great speed rusher and he'll flush some guys right into Bosa's lap. But I think your point is a salient point. I think it's accurate. And I think he will never get back to that 18 and a half. I think you're looking at 12, 13. I think that they'll meet in the middle. Like he'll be better than what he was last year, but he's not going to get to 18 and a half. I think it's more 12 and a half, 13. That's what I see.
One more thing too. When we talk about the emotional letdown, this team is knowledgeable and experienced. They went to the Super Bowl in 2019, 2020, and they thought, we'll be back. We'll be back. Took them 4 years. Kittle knows that. Juszczyk knows that. Took them 4 years. So all they know is not guaranteed to go back next year. In fact, odds are against it. They know that. That's tough.
Yeah, no, I know. No, I mean, there's no question. The odds are against them, but then also you look at that conference and you're like, how many teams really can run with the Niners in this conference? And I only think it's a handful. To me, there's a big drop off.
Detroit,
it's like
LA,
Green Bay, Philly.
Don't sleep on Philly. That you're right about their coordinators. Sirianni has a lot to prove, but they brought in Fangio and Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore from Dallas.
It's not exciting. But
Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Devin White, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell,
Saquon Barkley. I like that.
Saquon.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, their running back wasn't that imposing last year.
They improved their secondary for sure.